The Egghead arc is the 8th in the New World arcs. And who among us expected that the events of this arc would surpass all the combined arcs of the time skip? We will witness the movement of the entire One Piece world simultaneously, involving pirates, the Revolutionary Army, the world government, and admirals. This marks one of the first times Oda delves into the broader world, rather than focusing on a specific region and relying on newspaper updates to reveal the outside world's happenings. We'll delve into what propelled this arc, spanning 38 chapters, to become the best arc after the time skip arcs. Then we'll explore the strengths that have secured its place as one of the greatest One Piece arcs, nearly matching the esteemed Marineford arc. Towards the end of the video, we will also address some of the negatives present in this arc and offer explanations for them, shedding light on the writer's intent. For a comprehensive review, we'll provide an unfiltered opinion. The Wano arc concluded at chapter 1057, aptly titled The End. This marked the divergence of the Straw Hats, Kid's crew, and Law, setting the stage for the first chapter of the final saga and the Egghead arc. Now, let's uncover the essence of what makes this arc the best of the after 2-year arcs. What sets Egghead apart is the writer's focus on the core of the story. We now witness the movements of One Piece's mightiest characters, immersing us in a global adventure, transcending the confined settings of specific villages or countries the Straw Hats currently find themselves in. The most powerful pirates, long neglected, are given renewed importance. The admirals also take center stage under Oda's scrutiny. Moreover, this arc unveils a trove of secrets about the world government, the oppressive regime that has dominated the world for 8 centuries. Issues such as slavery and the suppression of freedoms, enforced by the world government and tyrants, are pivotal elements of the One Piece narrative. These are the very problems the story's hero seeks to rectify throughout his travels. One of the remarkable aspects of this arc is how Oda completely upends the world of One Piece. Let's kick off with Blackbeard, a character considered one of the linchpins of the One Piece world. We witnessed his movements during the dissolution of the Shichibukai system and the Navy's attempts to arrest Boa Hancock. Blackbeard made an unexpected visit to Amazon Lily Island, where he crushed Hancock, abducted Kobe, but oddly, withdrew after Riley intervened. This departure from his usual tenacity raises questions. What motivated him to target Hancock's fruit, and what's its significance? Notably, the Vice King of the Pirates, Riley, casts an awe-inspiring presence. In chapter 1061, titled Future Island Egghead, the Straw Hat crew officially entered Egghead Island. However, Oda doesn't solely focus on the Straw Hats' adventures. 2 chapters later, we return to Blackbeard's exploits, finally Oda glimpsing the Yonko's pursuit of poneglyphs. Blackbeard clashes with Law on Winter Island, a pivotal battle in the New World, drawing Fleet Admiral Akainu's attention. Blackbeard emerges victorious, seizing poneglyphs Zu and Kaido poneglyphs, who were with Law. Furthermore, in Big Mom's territory, Aokiji and Van Augur apprehend Pudding. Blackbeard now possesses nearly as many poneglyphs as Luffy. Yet, Oda keeps us in suspense about Blackbeard's next direction. His ship appeared in Egghead, and also the Blackbeard pirates executed a commendable operation on Hachinosu Island, capturing the marine hero Garp. This is one of the best things Oda did, as he brought back the feeling of competition, the movement of the Sea Emperors, their danger, and the unpredictability of their steps. Aside from that promotional shot that Oda took of the red-haired man after the fall of Kaido and Big Mom, where the writer featured him to generate anticipation for the upcoming Red movie. This time in a grandiose entrance in Elbaf. Shanks swiftly dealt Kid a crushing defeat with a single blow, taking Kid's poneglyphs. In an attack that I consider to be one of the best in the story, the Giants destroy Kid's ship, and the writer announces the complete annihilation of Kid's pirates. During these events, Shanks also wondered about Teach's position, so that the writer brought back attention to this old animosity in the story between Shanks and Teach. So what is the next step for the red-haired man? Will we finally see him intervene to prevent the Blackbeard from something? We only have 1 Yonko crew left. Yes, you know what we're talking about. The Captain Buggy, one of the characters who created a great controversy in One Piece. How could Oda put a clown in the position of a Yonko? A point that many did not like and considered ridiculous from Oda. But as the chapters progress, it appears to us that Buggy is just a pawn, and that the real leaders of his guild are Crocodile, a person who is considered as savvy in the black market as Doflamingo, and also Mihawk, who is considered the strongest swordsman in the world, and no less powerful than any Yonko. In Chapter 1082 of the Egghead arc, Buggy continued to create controversy and showed that he is a pragmatic character. He stated that the treasure is for whoever arrives first. It is not necessarily the strongest, but the person who precedes everyone. He announced his dream of becoming the Pirate King. But the Cross Guild does not have any poneglyphs, unlike the rest of the Yonko. It remains to be seen how Oda will guide them on the path toward claiming One Piece. In Egghead, we saw more seriousness in the war of the government and the Marines against Luffy and his companions. Even Luffy's fight against Kizaru is less than a joke compared to the end of Luffy's fight against Kaido in Gear 5. But of course, there are several more chapters remaining to see the final result. There is also a greater sense of danger, as the Navy brought a fleet consisting of 100 ships, and this time, the crew is trying to escape, as the enemy has come in huge numbers, and it is illogical to win against them in a traditional shonen way. Because inside Wano, we saw a slapstick style from Oda, through Tama's childish ability to take over Kaido's soldiers. On the contrary, at least for the moment, we see better military methods of fighting, either through mutual control of advanced versions of Pacifista, or through the powerful military technology present on the Egghead Island. Then we see a legendary appearance from one of the Five Elders, and a beautiful connection from Oda between the present and the past, Kuma and Saturn. Furthermore, in the Egghead arc, we witnessed a substantial movement from the Marines, as the legendary Garp ventured alone, alongside some novice Marines, to Hachinosu Island, despite the formidable presence of a Yonko crew. His opponent on the island was none other than the former admiral turned pirate, Aokiji. Oda masterfully introduced a flashback revealing the backstory of a former admiral and his rigorous training, relying solely on his raw power under Garp's hands. Despite Garp's advanced age, he demonstrated impressive power, and Aokiji displayed no mercy towards his mentor, even though one of the leaders of Blackbeard pirates, Shiryu, made a treacherous attack on Garp. The events of the Hachinosu Island ended with the arrest of Garp and the emergence of Kobe's name once again in public, so that the writer could pave the way for him to be one of the most important figures in the Navy in the future. Not only did Garp take action, but Kizaru also embarked on a different path, leading him to Egghead Island. We will see a confrontation between a Yonko and an admiral, and we will learn more about Kizaru's justice, which seems somewhat hesitant. He is forced to get rid of Vegapunk, with whom he had a wonderful relationship in the past, all this for the sake of a strange justice from the world government, only because Vegapunk wants to know ancient history. Kizaru will perform at a respectable level against the Yonko, a surprising outcome for those who might have anticipated that the Yonko are far superior to the admirals. On Future Island, we'll see the story's most intelligent character, presented with a weird design. We'll delve deeper into this character and his design when we discuss the negative aspects of this arc in our closing section. This scientist, although responsible for inventions that can be harmful and destructive, surprisingly aspires to create a groundbreaking invention that will provide humanity with a limitless source of free energy. We also uncover one of his humanitarian visions, exemplified by his dream to make punk records accessible to all people around the world. Punk records is essentially the data stored in Vega's brain. His Devil Fruit ability allows him to store an endless amount of information, enabling the creation of unlimited information records. Vega has encapsulated his invaluable knowledge and information within these records. Vegapunk and his 6 satellites can remotely connect to this source. One of Vega's brilliant concepts is to democratize this wealth of knowledge contained in the Punk records, enabling everyone to access, share, and update this invaluable trove of information and data. Vega continued his scientific discoveries, and this time we see the first explanation from anyone for Devil Fruits. This did not happen in any arc of the story. Firstly, what is nice is that Vega considered this to be just a hypothesis and did not confirm it. This expresses his scientific humility. Vega's explanation was somewhat strange. He said that the Devil Fruit results from a desire, or let's say a person's wish for one of the abilities in order to develop. He explained that the price for this person possessing these abilities that contradict nature is to make him hated by the seas, which are considered the mother of this nature. He concluded by saying that those with devil fruit abilities exist in different dimensions created by the imagination of other people who came before them. But the question here is how and by what mechanism the wish or imagination of these people is transformed into reality, and who has such ability. The five elders stand as one of Oda's outstanding creations within the One Piece universe. Their remarkable design even earned praise from the creator of Conan. Throughout the story's various phases, we caught only fleeting glimpses of them. But in the Egghead arc, we'll delve deeper into their role. The arc officially unveils their names and provides a tantalizing glimpse into the abilities of one of the elders, Saturn. His appearance is nothing short of terrifying, raising anticipation regarding the true might of the Gorosei. Saturn effortlessly manipulates Sanji and Frankie, two of the Straw Hat's most formidable fighters, revealing a dictatorial aspect that symbolizes the world government's cruelty towards humanity. In addition to their imposing presence, Oda imbues them with a sinister aesthetic. Saturn's transformation draws from the Ushi Oni yokai, emerging with a demonic allure. This prompts curiosity about whether the remaining Gorosei will also take on sinister forms, or if each will possess a unique and different presence of their own. One of the problematic plot developments was the resurrection of Sol, especially after years of believing that the Ohara incident had been defined by the sole survivor, Robin. To many longtime followers of One Piece, it was a shock to learn that the world government had allowed a significant giant and a person of such notoriety to live. This individual inadvertently exposed the knowledge of the Ohara scholars to the world. While Oda's intention may have been to emphasize the enduring power of people's will by having the giants pass on the ideas and knowledge of the Ohara scholars to future generations, it came at the cost of requiring the world government to commit a significant error that seemed difficult to overlook. A person appeared in front of the five elders, and a person who is considered the ruler of the world, and survived that way? It was one of the points that Oda was unsuccessful at. It was better for Sabo to not appear in front of them combatively. In the end, Cobra died, and Sabo had no choice but to run away. While most anticipated a serious design for Vega, the writer opted for a slapstick appearance. This unexpected choice was attributed to the effects of Vegapunk's devil fruit, which grants him the ability to memorize vast amounts of data. However, the unintended consequence of this power was the inflation of his head to the size of Elbaf giants. I'd like to invite you to share your thoughts and opinions on this intriguing aspect, so I leave you to comment on this point. Share your opinions with us. Regrettably, Oda introduced redrawn characters who were already established in the story. While we had previously accepted the concept of cloning, maybe with Edward Weevil, due to the passing of Whitebeard, but redrawing the entirety of the Seven Warlords feels somewhat repetitive. What compounds the issue is that these Seraphim display the same emotions and personalities as the original Seven Warlords, as evidenced by interactions like Hancock Seraphim's encounter with Luffy. This raises the question of the purpose behind this repetition. If repetition was indeed Oda's choice, it might have been more fitting to reintroduce characters who had either perished or aged. Putting this aside, let's consider the Seraphim in a broader sense. They are successors to the Shichibukai system and are anticipated to perform their roles with competence. For the moment, the Seraphim have remained conspicuously absent from the significant battle involving Luffy, Saturn, and Kizaru. However, we can speculate, based on one version of Vegapunk's satellite, Edison, that the Seraphim are currently in their formative stages and are on a path of evolution, potentially growing more potent with time. The most intelligent character in the story, renowned for the grandeur of his intellect, has asserted that the Seraphim represent the pinnacle of knowledge in the history of these seas, and were engineered to be the strongest forms of humanity. It raises curiosity about Oda's plans for the Seraphims in the future of this story. So, we've highlighted some of the points that were somewhat negative within this arc. We've presented them neutrally, along with some questions and tentative answers to ponder. The Egghead arc stands out for its unique events and the level of seriousness in the storytelling, distinguishing it from previous arcs, such as the recent Wano arc, which had its own strengths, but followed a different narrative path. The Egghead arc is still unfolding, concealing many of its secrets, with the ongoing fiery events contributing to its magnificence. Oda has initiated the narration of the Good Valley Incident, which is classified among the most important events and secrets of One Piece. If the events of this flashback were completed, we would learn about what happened, for the Rocks crew, and the reason for Roger's fight alongside Garp. If Oda were to complete the narration of the events of this incident, this arc would indeed be the best since the inception of One Piece. We invite you to share your opinions and insights, and we wish you a fantastic day.